We're sitting down here with the two-time Melbourne to Warnambool winner, Nathan Elliott. Not only two-time, but back-to-back, which has never been done before. So, Nath, can you just run us through briefly, how did you even win the first Melbourne to Warrnambool? Like, what was the go? Did you go on the break? Did you go from the main field? Just briefly run us through the day, the conditions, how it went down.
Went in the early break. It was a pretty strong move. I think there was like 15 guys maybe. A couple of ISO away, all the major teams were represented, and it ended up being, the wind was pretty strong that day. And as a result of that, the bunch behind split up a fair bit, and we managed to go the distance.
And you weren't on ISO way at the time. I'll just point out to some people if you weren't sort of watching. You were on what, Kenyan Riders Down Under?
Yeah, but I was racing that solo. I had no teammates in the race, and there was two ISO in the break, which made it a bit tricky.
Bit tricky, but certainly not impossible, as you proved. So it was a really windy day, sort of typical, I suppose, Melbourne to Warrnambool conditions, crosswinds blowing the race apart. And this year, the conditions, they were fairly different. Am I right there?
Yeah, well, I'd say you could say it was a nice day, but maybe not what I wanted for a Warni. But it was basically no wind, slight headwind, and low 20s and sunny.
And what was your strategy going into the second one? Did you actually, just to back up with your expectations of the event, did you sort of go into it thinking that you were going to win, or thinking that you had a pretty reasonable chance this year? Like, was your build-up good for it?
I was definitely very confident going in, and was going a fair bit better than last year, I thought. But the forecast for the conditions on the day, I definitely thought it would be pretty difficult to pull it off.
And your strategy seemed to be the same as last year. You thought the break worked last year, I'll go the early break again.
Yeah, thought I'd give it a crack. I mean, there's always the risk of it not paying off, and we did end up actually getting caught. But it ended up being a bit smaller, the move, than what would have been ideal. But
so only 6 riders this year.
Yeah.
That's not many.
No, it wasn't ideal.
I don't know how sort of fluent people are in cycling, but in case you're not, like 6 riders in a breakaway over a 280k race is more or less suicide. Like that's not a recipe for success. In the break there, did you think it could go the distance?
Yeah, for a while for sure. I thought, and I think all the other guys thought it could stick. But then just before camper down, the gap started coming down pretty quickly, and then I think we realised then, and guys started mucking around a bit, so I think we realised then it was a bit doomed.
Yep. And that's never a good feeling when you're in the breakaway and you sort of know this isn't going to work.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think, still I thought, my best chance to win, given the conditions, would have been from a break, because it would make it pretty hard to try and move at the end, given it made it easier for other guys to sit in the bunch, and probably would have been a larger bunch at the finish. So, I wasn't sad about it, and we had guys in the team that could finish off the job as well. So.
Yep. So you did get caught eventually after camper down. So you were in the break for what, 100 and something Ks?
After camper down, which is about 200k in, Ryan Kavanagh and I rode off the front, and we stayed away for maybe another 20k. And I think we got caught at, maybe the two of us got caught at like 220k mark.
So that is such a deep point in the race to get caught, and you've been out there for a very long time. So when you did get caught, were you sort of thinking then, right, let's see if we can set it up for another teammate? Like, what were you actually sort of thinking once you got caught and you were back in the peloton?
Well, I didn't really get to go hard until Kavanagh got away. So when we got caught, I was still feeling pretty good. But I was saying to the guys, just use me up and like to chase moves or weed out frees at the end, and
And then, so what happened when you attacked at 10k to go? Were you thinking this is more just a bit of a setup for the sprinters like Freebs behind, or did you sort of think you still had the legs to maybe pull it off?
In the back of my mind, still thought if it was all together, I wanted to attack on the Speedway hill, which is at that 10k to go, because it's pretty good launch pad for my type of style of rider, I suppose. So then Kunda caught ended up attacking on that same spot, and then yeah, no one really covered it, so I jumped across to that.
I didn't actually realise that. So Coon de Court and yourself were off together for a while there.
Not really. As soon as I got across him, I hit him and went solo.
So the only World Tour rider was just left him.
Yeah. And then then I was on my own for a bit, and one of the end Swiss riders, Tom Robinson, managed to get across. And then
You keep going.
And then Tommy was quite strong, and saw one of our teammates, Cam Bailey, was trying to come across, which would have been perfect for us, which allowed me to sit on Tom for a bit because we had a teammate coming across, but unfortunately Cam didn't get there. And then it ended up just being Tommy and I, and I hit him the same place I won from last year up that final rise, about 2k to go, and managed to hold on.
And then that's the rest is history, as they say. Back-to-back Melbourne to Warnambool wins.
Yeah. No, it was pretty special.
Oh, look, to be honest, it's blown me away, Nate, because not only have you gone back-to-back, but you've gone in the first year with the sort of typical, wind-swept Warnambool type conditions, which are really sort of, they've characterised many editions of the race, but there's also many years where it does seem to come down to a sprint because the conditions just aren't right. So a lot of riders can sort of, potentially think, the conditions just weren't quite right, it wasn't right for me. But you've just gone out in both conditions and just kind of proved everyone wrong there. You've just proved you can win the Warnambool just on any day.
Thanks, mate.
So and just going in the breakaway, I hope people realise just how, even that win on its own is just, I think, absolutely ridiculous. Just getting in the break for that long, getting caught, and then still thinking, I've got it. Maybe I could go solo. That's just ridiculous. So, awesome job. I think that's legendary.
Thanks, mate.